That's it. It's time. You know what? It doesn't matter how quickly we get ready, how early we're here, like 3 hours early getting ready for a live stream. It's always right up to the last second and nothing's quite ready. And I mean, I just got my hat on and anyway, it's been like that. Hopefully you guys can hear me. Make sure to pop into the chat if, you know, there's no sound coming out or if it's not synced or, you know, there were some technical issues right here at the beginning here. So hopefully there aren't any technical issues right now. Welcome, Patreon folks. It's been a while, so I'm glad to have you in this live stream. I thought it was a perfect chance since we were going to do a special live stream on Saturday. I thought, you know what? Why don't we just have a special Patreon live stream before the regular live stream? Because, hey, I should be here early anyway, right? Because everything's going to be broken and not working right. I am joined by Ivy is on the console making sure the technical things happen. Say hi.
Hello.
She says hi. And Lauren is over here doing questions and chat and all that kind of good stuff, right?
Yes. Hi, everybody.
There you are. Okay. Hopefully you guys can hear them. Uh-oh.
That's me.
Something just happened.
Turn my sound down. They're saying it's coming through loud and clear.
Yay!
So that's wonderful.
Perfect. Perfect. So I don't have a chat window up in front of me, so I can't see stuff immediately. I could do that, but I didn't do that. I didn't set it up right. So that's me. So hopefully you Patreon people are having fun with the content. Yeah, I know if you've been following me in the past, 6 weeks or so, you know that we've been, is it 6 weeks? Okay, 10 weeks. We've been digging deep on the YouTube channel, working hard on it and spending a lot of extra time. And because of that, we've been doing less content. I know you're saying, now wait, I don't understand. How can you do more time on the channel and have less content? Yeah, that's the way it's working right now because we are kind of working through things, revamping things, and working on the next generation of YouTube videos for Townsends. Trying to figure out, what the best way to make videos and how to make them. I don't know. Right now, I'm struggling because they are, we've kind of increased what a video is in a circumstance, and that's kind of pushed a lot more research and stuff onto me. And so it's like, whew, how am I going to get all this done and do all the other stuff? But we're pushing through it. I really like the way some of the videos are turning out. I don't know. I think we've had a YouTube live stream since we did Poor Man's Feast, the soldier video, the bread video, the pizza episode, and that's a good question. It's like, yeah?
Susan Lowe says, the hard work has really shown through in your recent videos. So
thank you.
they've noticed.
Thank you very much. Yeah, the pizza episode is a big experiment. And I love your feedback on it. YouTube so far hasn't taken off with that, and I don't know whether it's I think I got nutmeg caught in my throat. Hold on. I don't know whether it's I think there's a little snafu or something with how the notifications went out, or maybe YouTube doesn't know what to do with the pizza episode yet. But I think we're going to follow up the pizza episode with another one like it here in the next, well, not Monday's video, but the one we're working on right now. So.
Just a couple more people chiming in on it.
Yeah.
So Cynthia K was saying it's all good, John, and the all is capitalized. And then Lisa F says a lot of thought and editing are going into the new videos, and really the editing is shining through very nicely.
Yeah.
And then Bridget Goddess says all the recent videos have been really great, very nice quality and creativity.
Thank you.
And Recon Phil says, I like the format, you narrating in the 18th century character with action cuts. And BVD says, mushroom ketchup pizza has changed my life.
Oh, yeah. See, now I knew. You just wait till that next time travel one. So that was, yeah, pizza's changed your life. I hopefully for the better. Let's say it like
Not the
that.
worst.
So, yeah, those have been a fun way of how do we talk about modern foods and yet period foods at the same time, and the lack, the differences that have happened since, in the last, say, 200 years. A little bit has changed in American culture and food and eating habits, and it's a great way to, draw distinctions and have fun with it and kind of pull people back into period things a little bit, even though, they're mostly just interested in things like pizza. So it's hopefully that'll catch on, and we'll be able to kind of do more fun things with that if the audience likes it. I mean, the comments seemed really, really strong, but how that works out in the long run is another thing. Yeah.
Mike Kruk says, the content has been wonderful and loved the variety of topics. Presentation is top-notch and the journal videos are fascinating.
Oh, so you're over there on the on this channel, Townsend's Journal. Great. I'm glad you're enjoying that. That is a huge experiment. I don't ever expect this channel to do wild and crazy things, but that's okay. As we understand, and it's not easy, let me tell you, as we try to understand YouTube and its current iteration and the way at which it functions right now, it makes it so that it makes it all the more important that there are places like Patreon out there and Townsends Plus and ways for people to support us rather than just this straight, channel way, straight advertising basically on videos. So as we build the regular channel, we have to focus and focus and focus so that we don't really use the algorithm word anymore, but we do use AI and audience as what's happening with YouTube. And as we work on YouTube and understand that, it means that the channel needs to focus to do better, to reach more people, which is the whole point, right? And so the only real way to have different kinds of content is to put them different places. So Townsends Plus or the journal channel is a great place, or interacting through Patreon. So the Townsend's Journal is my experiment to see how I can continue to work with YouTube and do some of the things I want to do, talking about the kind of the underlying information that I use to create the other kinds of content.
So Susan Leway is curious about, she's wondering who decided to put the modern pizza in the thumbnail versus the one that you made that looked more,
So thumbnails are probably the biggest challenge on YouTube, strangely enough, right? It is the first nanosecond decision that somebody on YouTube makes about whether they're going to eventually watch a video or watch your channel or subscribe to it or watch 100 videos, right? That's what YouTube wants. It's like YouTube says, we want you to make videos so that people want to, basically fall asleep to your videos for the rest of their lives. That's not easy to do, but it begins with a single thumbnail and making that split second, you're scrolling on your home page or along the side in the suggestions, and something has to stop you for just that nanosecond. You look at it a little bit more, you read the description, you say, maybe you even hover over the thing and you start to see some of the video, and you finally make that decision. I'm going to waste my next 10 seconds seeing if this is a video I want to watch. Boop, and then you're into and then you got to get through the first 10 seconds, and then and then to the end of the video if you're really fortunate. So on a thing like the pizza thumbnail, we have to decide, do we want to show the thing that they might not recognize as a pizza, or the most obvious pizza image in the universe? So we went with the most. In fact, in the meeting when we were talking about the thumbnail, yes, we have meetings where we talk about thumbnails, maybe spend an hour or two on a thumbnail. Let me tell you, I don't know if I bargained for this, right? Anyway, so we're working on this thumbnail idea, and the words came out. We want this pizza to look like the pizza emoji on your phone. That obvious. Don't put anything else on it. We want pepperonis, yellow cheese, red sauce, and it's round, right? And so that's the reason why we chose the modern pizza versus what we made. I thought the one we made was gorgeous. And let me tell you, it tasted as good or better than what you thought it tasted like. Let me tell you. Somebody apparently here has tried it out and they think so too. That's the way we went with it. The other one would probably have been just as good. And I still think maybe we need to rethink the pizza thumbnail. We're going to continue to mess with thumbnails. If you've seen the bread thumbnail has changed recently, we will definitely change the coffee thumbnail. That just isn't working. I don't like it, and I've got another one in the works, so we'll see. Yes.
So, okay, who was it that asked? Cynthia K. has a non-pizza question. How are the chickens and hens doing? And I wondered if you wanted to tell the story about what happened with the bread thumbnail.
Yeah, the bread thumbnail. So if you've seen the bread thumbnail, I've got this giant loaf of bread. It's a big loaf of bread. I was thinking about making it like this big for the thumbnail. You just get the camera close and this huge bread. Anyway, we're out there taking the bread thumbnail, and it's so green. We took it in my driveway because we got these green, they're supposed to be short trees, but they're actually 20 feet tall, Canadian hemlocks. And I'm holding this bread out. Ryan's out there with the camera taking pictures. We probably took 100 pictures trying to get the right one. Yeah, we'll have a meeting and we'll talk about the thumbnail for an hour, and then we'll spend another hour and I probably spend an hour baking the bread for that. Probably more than an hour getting the bread ready. And I'm holding the pizza like that, and the chickens are, whenever they see us outside, they're, ooh, you do have food for us. It's all about food for them. Even if they're completely full, they want more food because that's apparently all they're programmed for. And anyway, one of them flies up onto my arm, onto the bread, wanting to start pecking at it and eating it, even though I'm holding it like this. So yeah, chickens are doing great. We are down to 10. So way back in the summer, we lost one to our automatic door didn't close and somebody ate one of them. And I think maybe another one got lost. Maybe it went to the neighbor's house.
Sure, that's what happened.
Maybe a hawk got it. I don't know. Gone. So we're down to 10, but they are wonderful, prolific birds. They're really, now that the sun is up a little bit longer, they're starting to kick those eggs out even better. So they're doing great.
Okay, so Recon Phil says, the content now has a more story-like structure instead of just showing the recipe and cooking alone. So, nice change.
Yeah, there's a lot to what you do on YouTube. And if you show a recipe, even if there's an interesting quirk, it's like, oh, he's dressed funny and he's doing an old recipe, right? It doesn't have the necessarily, sometimes, but it doesn't necessarily have the, boy, I can't wait to watch the next one. And as we try to understand what YouTube really wants, you don't think about that too hard as you're making videos, and then you understand. It's like, well, people are interested in the story, your story about the content, even their own story about the content. Poor Man's Feast, and I relate the idea of almost everybody has grown up in some kind of circumstance where extravagant food was not something. Everybody's at a penny pinching phase sometime in their life, at least most people. And so even relating that little story, and everybody thinks about it, it's like, yeah, I can connect exactly with this content. So that is one of the things I look for as I'm thinking about an episode, as I'm writing it in my head. I don't write episodes out, but I do write them out up here. And the better episode, the longer I have to, write it up in my head, which, sometimes my head isn't ready for writing, but sometimes.
So Cynthia K has a question, and she says, will the mushroom ketchup be back at Townsends, or is it gone forever? And we were getting it from England wholesale, and they stopped letting it, they just shut down their wholesale unit for us to order from. So as far as we know, we're never going to get it back again. But then BVD chimes in and says that it's easy to make on your own, and so it probably tastes better too.
Too true, and better for you undoubtedly, because then you know what's in it, right? Especially if you happen to be able to. I saw some YouTube, and they were growing mushrooms. They were like the little shelf mushroom. I don't know what kind of mushroom they were. Really interesting looking mushrooms. They were growing them in buckets. So they had these, like 5-gallon buckets, plastic buckets. They had holes in them, and all these mushrooms are growing out of the little holes, and you just peel it right off there, and boom, boy, you could make some crazy good mushroom ketchup with your own mushrooms, and then you even know exactly what's on. Do you think they put chemicals on mushrooms they grow in?
I don't want to know. Let's hope not.
Well, let's hope not.
Bridget Goddess says, and oh my goodness, exclamation point, you finally did a video on salt, exclamation point. I've been hoping you would do one for a couple of years now, and that's probably how long we've been thinking about making one.
Yeah, it's been on the list for a long time. I still don't feel like I covered everything I wanted to, but I only have a week, right? As right now, the videos, because of the life I'm living with working on the content, it's kind of going, one video. There's no, like, I'm working on 4 videos at once. It's just like I'm working on one video and then it comes out, and we're gonna it comes out. So I'm behind the 8 ball, but that's the only way it can be right now because of the constraint of life and everything else. So even though I want Salt to be a 20-minute mini doc, and I want to be able to spend 3 weeks or a month to create it, I can't do that. So it was what it was. I think it turned out really good for what we had, and I hope you enjoyed it. And yes, I want to redo the thumb on Salt too. It was as good as I could do at the time.
Phil Klum says, the amount of work on the videos is obvious. The effects and image processing is impressive.
Aaron thanks you for your kind words, and it's and also Caleb's kind of almost been reassigned right now for the last 8 weeks to artwork, image processing, and animation and all that kind of stuff. So he still does some editing, and he's always there for the shoots. He spends a lot of time in just doing the artwork, which it's hard enough to find artwork that is in the public domain, and then is it appropriate, and then can I animate it, can I make it look neat? So yeah, a lot of work going on there.
Bridget Goddess says, really appreciate that you have branched out to other avenues to present videos, enjoying the journal quite a bit.
Good.
And
thank you.
And Recon Phil says, now that Ryan has his coffee business, will he still be participating in content on Townsends?
Yeah, Ryan's coffee business is his side gig. In fact, at this very moment, he is roasting coffee. Just as I was driving up, he was driving by. His coffee roasting operation is in one of our auxiliary buildings. So I get to see what's going on. So yeah, that's his side gig that he does with his family. And but yeah, he's still full time with Townsends right now. He's not in the media team at the moment because he's spending all his available time on the catalog. So I don't even have him to help me on content creation right now. So everything rests on my shoulders other than, the camera work and animation and editing.
Phil Klum says, does pausing the video or coming back and finishing it at a later time screw up the statistics? And Lisa F. and Cynthia K. both were interested in the answer to that question as well.
So does it hurt? Okay. I think what would if you didn't stop the session. So if you're watching the video and you pause it and you walk away, you go to the bathroom, you come back 3 hours later and you continue to watch it, then no, I don't think that will change anything. If you stop and then you come back at a different session, you turn off your computer or the browser, you go to someplace else and you come back and you watch the rest of the video, then it'll show up as 2 sessions with, basically half watch time and half watch time. So probably not as exciting to YouTube as when it sees someone who watches the entire video. If you start doing that, if you do that too, and my mother was complaining the other day. She says, I went on YouTube and she basically just watches me. Can you fault her for that, right? But she was not very happy because YouTube was not putting our videos on her homepage or in the suggested. And it's like, well, just go and find one of our videos and just watch it from beginning to end. And you will tell the AI that that's what you want to watch. And it will see them more and more. And it makes the AI happy and it knows what you're interested in.
Lyra says, thank you for the second reminder. I almost missed it.
On the Patreon. Yeah. I figured, it's like, I don't know, will people remember? I wouldn't. So.
Jolly Ginger says, random question. Does the decoration on your hat signify anything in particular, like you're a wealthy landowner or a rich nutmeg merchant?
Wrong hat. The cockades on the hats did have different meanings at different times. So, a white cockade, and this is a cockade, might have a particular meaning at a particular time and a particular army. And sometimes there would be red, white, and blue. That'd be like the French colors here. Or, you might have a green one to mean you were part of a particular part of the military. Mostly in a civilian setting, they're going to be plain. They aren't going to have a cockade. Or you might put a cockade as a kind of a political statement at times. This one just means it's the hat that Lauren found on the shelf that I could wear.
Yeah, he had a brown one on and it was blending in with the background. So we switched to black.
It's squeezing my head a little bit, right? Trying to give me a headache.
Eugene Young says, just curious, any future plans for the German kitchen?
Future plans like changing the German kitchen? Do you think we ought to change it? Like maybe not make it fill with smoke every time you start the fire?
Maybe paint the walls white, make them white again.
Make the I just aged them. They have a patina. Why would we want to fix that? The German kitchen, I have worked on the chimney a little bit. I think I'm going to cut down some more trees around it to help the draw better. And I'm looking for a special little hat that lives on top of the chimney to help get the draft better so that we can have fires in it more often. We had fires in it for the upcoming episode, which I'm trying to remember what did we cook in that episode? Oh, Monday's episode is going to be really good. I got too many things I'm working on. It'll be Poor Sailor's Feast. And so we're cooking in the German kitchen, and yes, we've got the fire lit, and everything's going.
Okay, so where was I? Bridget Goddess was saying, I love the animated artwork. It's, kind of brings the picture. So very nice.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been fun watching Caleb blossom in that. At first he was just doing a little bit of stuff, and then he was like, well, maybe I can cut the background out, make it 2.5D, and then it's like, maybe I can make the water swirl, and maybe I can do this, and we didn't make it exaggerated, but in the pizza episode, the hand with the pizza slice coming up, stuff like that. It's fun. It keeps you interested visually, hopefully without being too distracting. and so you're still paying attention to what's being said.
Phil Klum was wondering, is the oven in the German kitchen working?
No, currently the oven in the German kitchen is not working. Mainly since we have the big oven out at the homestead, and it is only 150 feet away. I don't have a big incentive to spend a couple of days working on rebuilding that. So it's basically priorities. I would like to rebuild it, but since we have another oven and it would take a significant portion of my time away from other projects, I've decided to live with the way it is, at least currently.
I don't have any
Good,
current questions for
good.
you.
Well, I am super happy and, excited. So, as we retool the YouTube channel, and, we've talked a whole bunch about that in the past, and kind of, that is, right now we talked about that in a live stream, probably in January, and basically I'm about, I feel like I'm still only about 15% in that process. And I don't expect to be fully even kind of having accepted the knowledge I want for another 3 months or so. So expect to continue to see changes in how we do that. And some of that might be subtle enough that you won't see what's going on. But know that it is a serious endeavor, and that is really taken a lot of, I don't know, I like to talk about it in terms of like computer cycles. It's taking a lot of processing energy right now and time. But I know that I can do that because you guys are there and cheering me on. John, go, go, go. So. And I'm excited to be able to bring even more of what we do to YouTube and to the audience at large. It's odd, because one of the things I've been studying recently is how many other channels there are that do what we do. So how many channels talk about food history, specifically 18th century, and it's like you can count them on one hand. You can count them pretty much on one finger. There's Max Miller, who's great, but he just does recipes. He opens up the timeline, but his episodes are always exactly the same, right? It's like, here's an interesting thing in history. Here's a recipe. Here's some history. Here's the finished recipe. Done, right? They're nice and long. They're always 12 to 22 minutes or so, and they're always exactly what you're going to get. And he's done really, really well. He's really honed in on a particular audience, but it feels like it's kind of gotten to a particular size. And I think it's because his content is always exactly what it is. Good for growing pretty quickly, but it kind of stops at a certain point. And hopefully he'll probably retool a little bit and, continue to work at that. He's worked a lot on sponsorships and things like that. There's an early American who's taking that page out of the ASMR, for lack of a better term, the silent cooking episodes that and lifestyle episodes that you get. That Azerbaijan couple has done some pioneering in that, as well as some other channels that do that silent cooking thing. Or life thing. We have done some of those ASMR kind of silent episodes. I don't know if I think we're gonna do more, and I think they'll probably live on their own channel. I think that's interesting, and obviously we have a great location, a lot of information. I'm not sure, who the audience is for that. I don't have that. If you guys watch those, I'd love to hear kind of your chiming in on what you think about those, if they just aren't your cup of tea or you love them or whatever. But and there are a few, Mrs. Crocombe is another one, in costume, recipe. She's first person, and we don't do first person, but I mean, it's like,
She's pretty close, yeah.
yeah, she's pretty close, a different time period, but
Of all of them, she's probably actually one of the closest.
pretty close. And her videos live on a channel with other videos. They're the most popular kinds of videos on that particular channel. It's almost odd that she doesn't have her own channel instead of living with those other ones. I think they probably would do better on their own channel. So, but it's been really hard to do the research to watch what other people are doing because there's just not a lot that is like that. And that's challenging because that means there's nobody to watch and even get kind of inspiration from. So if you guys have thoughts on that, anybody chime in?
I'll let you know.
Anybody give me great ideas? So, you know.
I'm a little back from where we are currently. So.
Okay. And especially if you see this in a replay, and I may go ahead and just make this live for regular people, not just Patreon people, on the Townsends Journal in a replay form. Obviously, they're not here now. If you've got ideas for that, pop it into the comments. I would love to hear if you have any hidden YouTube channels I have not found, and I've been trying to get YouTube to suggest them to me, and they just really aren't there. So it's a challenge. It's a challenge. Not that I mean, I don't mind being a pioneer, but you know, it'd be nice occasionally get some ideas from somebody else.
Cynthia K says, "Will you be doing more live streams with Jim's red pants?"
We were supposed to, right? And I can't remember whether it was the weather or a health issue with somebody they knew.
That's right. Life
that broke
just
the
one
last
of those.
one. So hopefully, yeah.
Bridget Goddess says, "By the way, I liked the episode on what equipment you use." Mm-hmm. And the behind the scenes stuff is always fun. And Ben says, "How is Townsends Plus going?"
Townsends Plus is going well, although it's a little, as I'm honing in on the YouTube model and researching there, it's like, okay, I have to kind of put some of Townsends Plus off to the side while I work. So it's like, I can only work on one thing at a time. It's certainly something I'm still interested in and working on.
Susan LeWay said also that behind the scenes stuff is always great. Adds another layer of interesting info. And
if you've got ideas about what behind the scenes, kind of more ideas there, it's like, what would you like to see? Some things aren't possible, right? But, if you want to tell me about
topics or focuses that
exactly.
might be fun. Doc Cindy, perhaps. "I would be interested to see episodes about wheeled vehicles in the 17th century, wheelwrights or wagon designs, things like that."
Okay. Wheeled things.
Oh.
Even the evolution of the wheelbarrow is interesting. It's a little hard to sell, the exciting history of the wheelbarrow.
Cynthia K says, "Pardon my video Ludditeness, but what is ASMR?"
It's audio sensory something. It's the silent videos that you hear the things go. So it's
atmospheric.
It's atmospheric. I like to really call them ambient. ASMR is specifically sort of it's just about sort of sounds and noises, whereas this is more like non-talking episodes. They're not quite truly ASMR because ASMR is kind of
something more specific.
Yeah, something a little more specific. This is as close as you can get, but let's just call them non-talking videos. And generally no music. Sometimes some people put music on, but generally no music. And just, watching daily life. They're long cuts. They're not generally fast cuts, and no talking. But you get to see a thing done, and they're interesting.
Yeah, Susan LeWay is commented and said, "Not so sure about the ASMR videos overall. I think it's more about just the vibe of the day in the life without any music comments. and you know, the niche ASMR, not their cup of tea. So.
Yeah, exactly.
ASMR actually stands for Autonomous Sensory Meridian Response. And I think it has its roots in like the sound you hear and like getting a weird feeling when you hear it, like your like fingers on a chalk.
Oh,
Except
but
totally in a good way. Yeah, exactly.
that they're going for. Okay, so. Okay, so Phil Klum says, I love the ASMR that you've done in the past, so the kind of ambient videos we've done. So
yeah,
they are.
Yeah, I somehow ambient sounds better, although I don't know that it's a term that's used on YouTube. So we could use the term, but no one would understand. We'll just have to pioneer the term.
Bridget Goddess says, I enjoy the historic clothing channels, the ones where they show what all the person in various classes of society would wear, often dressing while they talk about it. So that would be a fun class, to a video to explore, or even to just research to see how they handle it.
Right.
Okay. Lyra says, I loved the first try on the cookie recipe on Patreon that you did a while back, and more like that video, that was a lot of fun.
Right. Yeah, the kind of cooking along and not, it just kind of took it. Some people do like Twitch streams like that, where they'll just kind of cook and talk and, you know, take time. It's not really edited too much. And it's interesting for a Patreon, and who knows, there might be, maybe even kind of do that Patreon, warn people ahead of time on Patreon, and also pop them on Townsend's Journal after the fact or something like that. So yeah, that's really interesting. Okay, so it looks like we're getting close. I'm going to go ahead. We're going to shut down this live stream. So super duper thank you. Hold on. We'll pick back up on the main channel for all that bigger audience. We'll have a pre-show, so 15 till. So we got about 7 minutes to hurry up, make everything working again. But we'll be doing a pre-show. If you've got questions you want to pop in over there, you're certainly more than welcome. But before you leave, I definitely want to thank you guys for being part of this special community, the inside circle of secret knowledge at Townsends. And you truly, truly help make the channel happen. And it is, I am very thankful to have you guys there. So thank you so much. And we'll hopefully see you, if not at the next live stream, we'll catch you later. Thanks. We'll see you later.